Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Cooking for Health with Timah. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to show you 6 ways where you can use your Seamoss. That I'm going to be using is the small one that doesn't expand greatly. This is the small Seamoss. These are seaweeds. This is the Condis crispus. So I'm just going to be using a few of these for what I'm going to be showing you. Right, so first up, number one, the first application for the seaweed, I'm just going to take one of my dry pieces, and if you've seen inside of my other videos, I always let you know that the reason I use it dry is because I've already cleaned it off and then I dehydrate it again. So I'm putting my hand in the back of it just so that you can see it. So what I'm gonna do with this, I put this inside of a glass, and then I have some distilled water and pour a little of that over it. Maybe about half cup to about 3/4 of a cup, and I'm going to let that sit for a moment. And now what I'm going to use that for, I'm going to use that to rinse my eyes. Now if you don't have one of those, it clears your eyes out really good, so you don't have to do like the salt water inside of your eyes, which can be rather drying and maybe somewhat a little abrasive. Just use some of your seaweed. The glaciaria, you can use it as well too, but I'm using the Condis crispus. So you just let that sit and it'll rehydrate right down inside of your glass or whatever container that you're going to be using. And if you don't have one of those little the glass eyeglass things that you put up against your eye, because I don't have one, but I have acquired one of these, you know, the little measuring cups. They usually come inside of like medications for children or whoever. So here's what I do. Okay, so now that my seaweed's been sitting inside of my water, there's going to be a lot of, well, not a whole bunch because it's just a little, it's just one piece sitting inside of the water, but there's enough mucilage down inside of the water to where I can do this. So I use one of my little, you see that, the little syringe, a little eyedropper, and make sure it's clean, and you want to use distilled water and have a distilled device. So I'm just going to take this and dip out, or suck out some of the water and put it down inside of my cup, or maybe you're stable enough. Just take the water and pour it right inside of your little cup, and then you're gonna just take this and place it right over your eye. I typically have this full, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more in. Oops, got a little spill there. There we go. So this is why you want to make sure that your Condis crispus is clean, because this is something that's going to go inside of your eye. Okay, so now you just take it, place the cup over your eye, have your eye open. So my eye is open, you'll see my eye, and you look around and look around. and that's how you rinse your eye, and you rinse both of them. Typically, I'm out in the sun when I'm doing this, and yeah, typically I'm outside and I do this, and I do sun gazing along with it. So the way you would do this, if you're going to be sun gazing, put it in your eye, close it, keep it closed, put it in your eye, keep it closed, turn your eyes, well, turn your face up towards the sun just a little bit off, keep your eyes, keep them closed and just up. Then you bring your head down, and then you open your eyes, and you'll just see so many bright and beautiful different colors. You might think you're on LSD, so I'm gonna do my other eye. There we go. And I'm gonna do this again later on. I'll go outside and I'll do it. The light coming from these computer screens that we sit and tend to be on like all day for work, for leisure, for whatever to pass the time, that light is very drying to your eyes. And so that's also another reason why you want to keep your eyes moistened. So you moisten your eyes with that seaweed water coming from your Seamoss. So that is the first way of using it. Now, the next way of using it,
Number 2.
you have some distilled water again, and you want to keep this stored inside of the refrigerator, okay? And it's not going to last too long. It may last up to a week, but I'm pretty sure you've even used it up by then. But you just put some of the gel inside of some water, or you can take some of the seaweed itself, let it sit down inside of the water, let it break down inside the water so you can get all of the gel, the mucilage, which is gonna be composed of a lot of different minerals, irons, magnesiums, right inside of your water. You take this and you put it on your skin. So after you've taken a bath or you've taken a shower, you want to take it, you put it all over your face, you rinse off all over your body with this. And even when like you're going out inside of the sun, you can put some inside of like a spray bottle and spritz yourself. Just keep yourself spritzed off. And some of the important, more sensitive areas on your body where you want to put this would be like under your arm. Make sure that you're having it inside of your hands, because your hands get dry, so you want to put it there. Keep it in your mouth. You can spritz this up your nose, and just in various places. And if you're gonna have on like a swimsuit or something, then you want to spray it along your bikini line. So spray it in areas where the sun wouldn't typically hit and be on you as much. Those are going to be the more sensitive areas that's going to be on your body to the sun, until you actually built up your iron stores for being out in the sun, because pretty much everyone is quite anemic, but a lot of us don't really show it because we're eating a lot of food with iron, but we are a bit sensitive to the sun, and we shouldn't be, okay? So especially if you're melanated like me, or even more so, you shouldn't be sensitive to the sun. But these are some things that you can use for when you're out in the sun, as well as using some turpentine oil. Here's how I do it. Okay, so early on, as the summer was starting to set in, hadn't even really come in, but we were getting that, we were getting some really hot weather. I was showing where I was out and about, and I was going around to some of the trees that's on the property, some of the pine trees, so I collect some pine. See, in areas where the limb was cut off where they're like little hard pieces of resin. So that's what you're looking for, like that. So I can just take it off. I mean, you'll see it's a dark orange sort of a color when it's dried up. Right, so this is my double boil method. So you're gonna need a stainless steel pot. You're gonna put a dish towel down in the bottom of it, and you're gonna put in some water. Put enough water to maybe go to like half of the cup that you're gonna sit down inside of it. And then inside of that cup, you're gonna get you a strainer. You're gonna get you a strainer, a stainless steel metal strainer, nothing other than stainless steel. And you're gonna put your resin inside of it. I was able to find an even fresher form of pine sap. So, and then you're gonna get another glass container to put over top of that. You can acquire that at a dollar store. It is pretty thick. That's gonna keep the oils from escaping. So the oils will stay right down inside of this container. So you're gonna let this boil. It's not, don't let it do like a heavy boil. Really just want the water to get hot enough inside of that cup so that it will allow your resin to siphon through and filter and distill itself by going down into the bottom of your cup. And so this is what you'll have left over. You have all of this that you will not need. I mean, you can use it for burning or whatever, but what's down inside of the cup is what you're going to use. And then you'll mix that with some olive oil or some coconut oil. So you just warm that up and put it inside of another container, and you're good. So now here's some of the pine, and what I don't use, I put it inside of the freezer. So this is a lot of pine that I collected. I don't drill holes or anything like that. It's just already oozing out of the tree. And so I'll collect some of that without damaging the tree. So I'll take that and I'll sterilize that. And so now that it will be sterilized, this is what it looks like. It looks like some amber. And what I do with that, I blend that down in some olive oil. So I'll heat up my olive oil along with my pine inside of it. And so now it's just all blended. This was full, so it's now just all blended down inside of here. So I take this also and I put this on my skin. There have been some research studies in regards to how pine or the turpentine it's actually a good radiation preventative. So I just take this, especially like they've done a lot of research over in regards to the pine trees over in Chernobyl. So I take this and I also use this on my skin as well, and definitely put it in the areas where you're most sensitive, like under your arm, along those areas, and maybe even under your feet. I do a lot of walking around bare feet on concrete and stuff, so you know, I put it up on my feet because you know that concrete can be super hot. So that's something that you can do. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get into I put some of my Conjus crispus in some warm water. I am not gonna boil this because when you boil it, it takes down a lot of the nutrients. So I just put in some hot water. This is maybe about 11 pieces. This is where my blender comes into play. So I'm just gonna put all of my gel right down in there. So there we go. All that Seamoss. So seaweed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna blend this up first before I put anything else inside of it. All right, so my seaweed is all blended down. and there's my gel. But what I'm going to do right now is put a little of this inside of a cup. So just this goes inside of a cup. There we go. And then I'm going to use some of my water. And get
Number 3.
down. That's pretty thick. And it just wants to sit by itself, so you gotta get it stirred up really good. Matter of fact, let me put this inside of a glass instead of my mug so that you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so let's put it in the mug, in the glass. There we go. And let's get that all stirred around. So this is just Seamoss, or my seaweed, mixed in some water that I'm going to drink down. So it's actually good to have like several of these a day, and the whiteness of it just shows how thick this is. I mean, this isn't water, this is fluid. Oh, this is like embryonic fluid. All right, bottoms up. Not boiling, I know, but it doesn't really have much of a taste to it. If you ever had the Bromide Plus, it tastes similar to that, except for this doesn't have the bladderwrack inside of it. I do have some bladderwrack, so I do that often as well too. I don't do it as much as I do use just this, because with the bladderwrack tends to cause you to urinate a lot, and I don't need to urinate a lot. So, but that's another way of showing how it is clearing you out. But I don't want to be using the bathroom a whole lot. So, but I'll drink this down several times. And if you've done your research, got another belch that wants to come out. Burp the baby, burp the baby. Oh, you know, you brush the baby face down. Oh my, it's okay, baby. Belch your baby. Okay. All right. So, but I'll drink several of these a day. And when you're not going to, when you don't boil your Seamoss, you get all the benefits of your Seamoss, because basically it's just sitting there rehydrating. The water is hot, but you're not going to boil the Seamoss in the water. You don't want to diminish any of your minerals. But three times a day. This is full of iron. It's full of phosphorus, magnesium, zinc. So you have a lot of different minerals that's going to be inside of your seaweed. So now, what the rest of this I am going to put in, I have this, if the camera picks it up really good. Yeah, it does, yay! Okay, so this is some soursop pulp. And so I'm going to take some of this and put it right over into here. All right, and I'm not measuring out. I do a lot of things just by eyeballing it. It took me a minute when I was doing my videos initially to even start telling how much, really, because I would be like pinch here, pinch there, showing a pinch in my hand. You know, I learned how to cook and stuff from my mother, my grandparents and stuff, and they weren't using measuring cups and measuring spoons and all that type of stuff. So, you know, you eyeball a lot of stuff. So I have my soursop in here, and I also have my burro banana. If you cannot find burro bananas, and in a lot of the areas you probably can't find burro bananas, if you can't, then get you some baby bananas or get you some organic bananas. Whenever I see these inside of the store, I tend to buy up as much as possible and I freeze them.
4.
So that's going in. So that's going to be the only sweetener that's going to be inside of here, because you know the soursop, that does not have like a really sweet taste. It might be a little something in there, but there's no sweetness inside of that. Not really. So the banana is going to be my sweetener. So this is going to be like really, really thick, because you know how banana do. However, the soursop pulp, it's a bit wet. It's a bit wet, so it's somewhat watery, but it's not going to make it that thin. So I'm just going to get this blended up. Let's get some of that. That's some of the gel around the edge. So I'm going to get this blended down. And again, you won't have to hear all the noise that this thing is going to make. All right, so it's all blended down. It's a nice thickness. And into my glass you go. Look at this, watch this. See how thick that is? This is thicker than like a, that's pretty thick. Look at that, that's real thick. Okay, so, now that is an awesome nectar. All right, now so this sugar. That's like a nice thick custard. That is so good. Now for number. Alright, so now you're gonna need a little bowl. Or at least a container that can go inside of your freezer, because yeah, this is gonna be our version of some ice cream. So next, what you're gonna need to put inside of this is a good grade of coconut cream. Typically, a good grade of coconut cream would be something that you just made yourself. Hence, my coconut cream. Okay, so not gonna use a whole lot of coconut cream. For this amount, this is like, what's the thing on here? It tells it. This is about 1.75 cups inside of here. And the amount of coconut cream that I have left is like, it's about 3/4. No, it's not. This is about 1/4 cup. Now at this point, if you want to put something inside of it to make yours a little bit sweeter, I mean, it's up to you. I don't tend to use a lot of sweeteners and stuff inside of mine. I'm used to just the natural flavors on its own. Not necessarily do I care to put in dates for the extra boost of sugar. The banana is good enough for me, and then the flavor coming off of the soursop. Just having that taste, I love that taste. So try it like that before you go throwing in any other sweeteners. But the only other sweetener that I would recommend that you would use would be the dates, okay? And however many you want to use, that's going to be up to you. So now I'm going to get this blended up with my coconut cream. Your next step is to just taste it and see if there's anything else you want to add to it. That's perfect. The only other thing that I would consider adding to this would be like some cinnamon. A few dashes of cinnamon. That would be it. Nothing else. But with this one, I'm not putting anything else inside this. I'm gonna put this inside of my bowl. I'm gonna get it all out with my spatula. Okie dokie. Okay. So there we have it. Right, now this is going to go inside of my freezer. All right, so the next steps with making our ice cream, I have my bowl out. So you want to check on it periodically because you don't want it to get like super hard. And you're gonna use a stand not a stand mixer, but use a hand mixer. So I have this one here, and excuse me, you just wanna keep it blended down so that it won't get icy. Like, you know, you want to have like a smooth consistency of it, and blending it every so often will allow you to have like a nice whipped cream, ice cream. Right, so let's just get this whipped. Alright, so I'm gonna put it back inside of the freezer so that it can freeze up some more. And by the time I'll probably do this like 2 more times before it's at the right consistency. So I don't use soursop just because it tastes really good. I also use it because it's touted to have like some really good benefits. There's been some studies on it as well, on tumors, cancer. And this is one of the fruits that's been used for a very long time over in the islands by some of our Jamaican brothers and sisters over in the Caribbean islands, inside of their drinks as well. So they know a whole lot about it. So if there's anyone that you want to check up on in regards to the benefits of this, I would say check with them because they're the ones that's been using it for like ever. And as always, do your research on it. But I have been looking into some of the research that's been done here as well as abroad, like actual research in labs and testing with people and all this type of stuff and using cells. So I've been checking all of that. But do your own research on that. So shortly, I will be taking my ice cream out of the refrigerator, well, out of the freezer, and we're gonna be getting it on. Number, you want to use it for your plants. That's right, you want to use it for your plants. So as you're washing off your seaweed, you don't throw that water away. So you're going to be keeping whatever minerals that just came off of your seaweed. You're going to be keeping the sea extract that came off of your seaweed. You're also going to be keeping the little bugs from the water, the little sea creatures from the water, the shells, the sand, all of that, and whatever mucilage that came off of your seaweed. You're going to be keeping it, and you keep it right inside of a container, and you water your plants, water your house plants, water your plants for your gardening, and watch how beautiful they grow. Alrighty, so okay, so now my ice cream is out of the freezer, and here we have it. And I put a little piece of plastic over the top to keep from getting those little icicles hooked up over it. So here it is here.
6.
I have my bowl. I forgot to get out my... Right now, I'm not sure how many hours this was inside the refrigerator because I went to the store, did some grocery shopping, got me some fruits and some vegetables and stuff, and came back and it was all good. So it was probably in there for maybe a total of 4 hours, or at least until it's a good solid state. So here we go. Ooh, cookie ice cream. there we have it, ice cream. Now I'm just gonna get my little eat on. Some sour salted coconut ice cream. That's awesome. So that is my last tip in regards to using Seamoss in several different ways. I hope this information was beneficial to you. If so, give the video a thumbs up. Let it get through the algorithm of YouTube so that other people can see my video. That's the only way that YouTube pushes your video out, when people thumbs up your video, make comments, share your video, whatever. Other than that, they just gonna let it sit. They've been changing up stuff so much. So help me as I'm helping you. I want to build up my channel, okay? So help me out here. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share my videos. And on that note, I need to go and water my plants, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you turn on your notifications.
Namaste, peace, and I am